zombie but awake 밤비가 내려wake Can't wait no time is a game so I just put it all my way I'm zombie but awake 밤비가 내려wake
Crazies, man, y'all are in the lab. Lee here in the seat, man. Y'all saw that title too as well. We're talking about my favorite Mandela Effect. Yes, my favorite Mandela Effect. Big shout out to you, the viewers. Big shout out to All Time for doing his. And big shout out to all of y'all that suggested I should do mine too as well. With that, remember to hit that thumbs up button, subscribe, and leave me your comments about your favorite Mandela Effect. Now, Mandela Effects have hit different genres all around the world. We're talking about music, movies, TV, as well as advertisement and other things too as well. My favorite Mandela Effect out of all of this has to be from the movies, and it has to be The Wizard of Oz. Holy, your favorite Mandela Effect is The Wizard of Oz? Yes, it has to be The Wizard of Oz, just because this is one of those iconic movies from my childhood growing up that's instilled inside of me. With also this movie has been rocked with so many Mandela effects. From the start, basically, of The Wizard of Oz, the wizard in this reality is so spelt wrong. And nowadays it is spelt with the one Z. But as you see, these evidence, it has been spelt with two Z's before. And that's crazy that it starts off being a Mandela Effect. It is crazy that The Wizard of Oz, the title, just starts off being the Mandela Effect. Blows my mind. Then you go into where she gets into Oz, she lands in Toto, and she's like, I don't think we're in Kansas anymore. And then it changed. It changed to, I have a feeling we're not in Kansas anymore. Blows my mind. It brings to me that it's in this reality that we're not in the reality that we were. That line resonates just because, they weren't in Kansas, but that feeling that we're not in Kansas anymore is so odd. It's so weird. Just because even we feel like we're not in our own reality anymore. Then you move in, Glinda comes in, and she puts the slippers on her feet. With the other Mandela Effect, we all know the bows on her slippers, the ruby slippers now got the bows, basically tying the knot on this Mandela Effect and this change. We all remember that there was no bows on her slippers before. With that too, as her socks have changed, they used to be white, now they are blue. It's kind of like our skies in our skies right now. They used to be all white and cloudy and balanced, but now they're nice and blue and shiny and beautiful. It is weird, crazy from the step. Goes around, she goes down the circle, going around the yellow brick road. She meets the Scarecrow. In the back of Scarecrow, you have these weird looking heels. Like they just stuck and plucked and put the heels on, and they look so weird to me. Along with Scarecrow and his hat. His hat used to be more brownish than the black it is now. It blows my mind. Maybe the black hole has opened up in the Scarecrow land and the weirdest crazy of the Oz, and it blows my mind. But after all that, they get to talking, gets to showing the way they go, and they skip down the yellow brick road and they run into the Tin Man. The Tin Man himself basically is so changed now with the little cup on top of his head. His funnel's got the little hole on it now with also the rivets all over his face and the dot in the middle of his forehead. Just meaning to open up your eyes to the reality that we're in, and that you're not in Kansas anymore, not in this reality we live in. The Tin Man is a huge Mandela Effect in me, just meaning that even us not being as a robot system or a man-made device even can be changed without in front of you. You go from there, from the Tin Man look, to basically the creepiest thing you can see in the trees is the hanging munchkin, or the hanging person in there. Some call it a Mandela Effect. I call it a message. It just means, hey, it's hang time. It's hanging around. You can go each way. Weird, eerie when it runs into it. Then, as we get down, you get to see the Emerald City. The Emerald City, they go down the Emerald City, and once again you see these planes that look so weird and so off. They look like they're just basically patches in a shirt, and it looks so weird. And she knocks on the door, rings the doorbell, and the door itself has now changed. It's got all this chrome and silver on it with the rivets. It used to be all green, basically saying it's ribbiting out. We're coming to the rivet to the bottom of the barrel, and it blows my mind that this is what it is. Get to that, you go in there, they get into the doors, they play around, they see the horse of a different color, they get their old makeover done. Then they got to go find this good old wicked witch, because that's how they got to do. And they're running through the forest, and damn it, what do you see in a Mr. Scarecrow's hand? A gun. Not even just a gun, he's got a walking stick. Damn Tin Man's got one of those mace things. Freaking, it is odd to see all these tools or weapons now in this scene, just because it's like telling our world that we're just full of weapons and violence, and this is what it's about. That's what you're trying to show, is that hell, anybody can get a gun these days, anybody can get a weapon. Blows my mind, because in this reality, in our realities, they never had all those weapons. Especially the Scarecrow never had the gun in his hand, never had the Colt 45, and it blows my mind. But within that, the Wicked Witch comes around, she does her bowl, she sees them going through there, and they're like, oh, well, we're gonna go get her ruby slippers.
Fly, my pretties, fly!
Fly, my pretties, fly, fly, my pretties. But it doesn't do my pretties no more. It's just fly, 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 fly.
Now fly! Fly!
And it blows me away. All reality is what? It's not pretty anymore. It's just flying, flying. Nothing's pretty. They're not even pretty. The monkeys aren't even pretty. They're not even pretty monkeys no more. Fly, my pretties, fly. Blows my way. But as we're looking at the witch, her hat is so wrong and pointy too as well. Just mean, hey, we're pointing to the top. Maybe there's somebody trying to give us a sign, a lesson, a goal. Blows my mind. Then they get all this, they attack the witch. I'm melting. And then they go back to the wizard. And dang it, go figure, Toto pulls the curtain back, and he says, pay no attention to the man behind the curtain, which has changed now too as well. Blows my mind, because the man behind the curtain, now it's this man behind the curtain. Blows your mind knowing it is a man behind the curtain, pulling all the strings, pulling all the Mandela effects through this movie, or through the world. He's the one that really is the mastermind of it all through Oz. And then you come out, they get their gifts, and they're up. What about Dorothy? Well, we're going to send her home. They get the hair and balloon. He flies off. That works out. And, well, Glinda says, well, you had the power within you the whole time. All you have to do is click your heels 3 times and say there's no place like home. And so she clicks her heels and ends back home. But it's not clicks, it's tap now. It blows me away. Everything of these Mandela effects all have a meaning within this Mandela effects, in this movie. Talking about, yes, we aren't in Kansas anymore. Definitely, since we're not feeling, we're not in Kansas anymore. We all feel that, let alone the socks, the shoes have all changed. Means what we're walking on, what we're putting on is all changing. Everything around us is going. The heels, maybe the heels have eyes. They see, they feel, they're growing. The Scarecrow hat, time to get a new one, I guess. Maybe it's time for change of times. The Tin Man's different look. Sometimes cosmetics is kind of the way it is. I can't really explain that one. But the doors changing, of opening up into a different thing and seeing the silver and the chrome is talking about there's doors. Many doors are opening and changing in different realities. Let alone now the gun and the weapons that they have when they're walking through the forest. And that's just basically saying it's easy to get the weapon. This world is all about killing and weapons. It's so much destruction. We need to stop with that. The fly, fly, my pretties. Fly. Guess nothing's pretty anymore. You already know that. Pay attention to the man. Don't pay attention to the man behind the curtain. Well, like I said it before, like that. He is the man behind the curtain that is running the show, that trying to avoid you from looking at the main thing. And to your click, to your tap, well, you can't click your heels no more and go home. It's tap. I think that one is, we have to learn to tap into ourselves and our inner being, into our powers, because she had her powers on her feet the whole time, just like we have our powers within our body the whole time. That's why I think there's a Mandela effect. I think this movie, why it's getting hit so big and so hard, is because this is a huge Mandela message movie. This is a huge awakening for a lot of people who grow up watching this movie and seeing the changes, and it's telling us right now, even Oz is changing, means everything can change. It's been a wonderful ride. I love this Mandela effect. This has to be my favorite Mandela effect out of all time, just because, not just because it's the Wizard of Oz and it has so many of them, but they resonate in my heart, in my mind, in my body so much. And I couldn't imagine the Mandela effect actually not being part of the Wizard of Oz anymore. I feel like this was the leading message of all the Mandela effects out there, if you would think. That's, to me, that's my opinion though, and that's how I feel about it. My favorite Mandela effect, Wizard of Oz. What are your favorite Mandela effect? What's your favorite Mandela effect movie, music, TV show, or just your favorite Mandela effect in general? With that, if you enjoyed this at any time, please remember to hit that thumbs up button, subscribe, and leave me those comments down below how you thought about this and others too as well. Till then, remember to keep your mind open, because those eyes will see everything in front of you. Y'all stay crazy.
I'm going to hang up this phone, and then I'm going to show these people what you don't want them to see. I'm going to show them a world without you. A world without rules and controls, without borders or boundaries. A world where anything is possible. Where we go from there is a choice I leave to you.